Hey everybody, this is Curtis from PSN Stores. Today we're looking at Costume Quest 2. So this game came out on PS4, PS3 last week. Of course, by the time this video is coming out, Halloween has come and gone. So this video is a little bit late, but we're gonna take a look at this game and kind of go over some of the minor changes they've done. This is, if you've played Costume Quest before, you should know what you're getting into with Costume Quest 2. It is very much the same kind of game. There is, of course, like a new story, some new setting. All the costumes are new, with the exception of the candy corn costume, which is back and continues to kind of be the joke costume of the whole bunch. But there are some new features they've added. Not a ton. It's still very much kind of the same kind of game. So almost to the point that I wish that there was a little bit more that they've changed up. But so this is early in the game. This is the first kind of area that you go to, and the setup here is that there is a dentist who hates Halloween. He hates candy, and his goal is to get rid of Halloween for good. And so he has done that by getting the help of like a time wizard, who has allowed him to go back in time. He has stolen this talisman that has allowed him to just destroy Halloween for good. And now the future is in danger because Halloween is gone in the future. And so it is up to you. You are once again Ren and Reynold, the brother-sister pairing, to go back in time and do some time hopping to right the wrong that this dentist has done, to save Halloween and bring it back. So unlike the first game, you had Ren and Reynold, and they kind of met up with two other characters, and so you had a party that you went along for the duration of the game. This game, it is the two of you, but you'll have other characters who will come in and out throughout the story. So in this opening chapter, like, you have Monty who shows up and he joins you for a little bit, and then you have like another character who will join you, and then you have like a third who will join you like towards the end of the game. But to show off some of the little things that they've done so far. So the status menu and like this screen is very much practically the same as it was in Costume Quest. So you have your party members, you've got the level, your experience, you got your different candy bags, you got your quest log, which is very much the same as how it was. So you might recognize, your main quest. You might recognize the hide and seek slide activity is back. You have your different costume list here. So I've got 3 so far. You have and then the creepy treats is the new thing. In the first game, you collected they were like stickers that you were collecting. In this game, you're collecting like trading cards. So I have one right now that has already been used. So you see right there, it says 1 battles left. Essentially, these are cards that can be used in battle, and they have different effects. So sometimes you might use them to mute the magic attacks of an enemy. You might use them to automatically kill one of the enemies that you're facing. Sometimes it makes it so where like all of your attacks are automatically critical hits. So there's a variety of different uses for each of these cards. I want to say there's like 45 in total. And you'll find them throughout the duration of the game. You can have up to 3 of them equipped at a time. So once we get into a few battles, I'll be able to show the one that I have. And then once again, like in the original game, you're going, in each of the areas you go through, you're gonna be finding pieces of a costume. And then once you find all of those pieces, you will unlock a new costume that you can use. Let's sneak up on this enemy. So the battle system is very much mostly the same, very kind of basic turn-based RPG battle system from the original game. There are a few changes. Nothing that radically changes the way the battle system plays out, though. So basically, you have your regular attack, which is your for this clown is a bounce attack. So I can use that, and it's all timing based. So I got a nice there. You can get like an amazing that is like your critical hit. And so that is all based on like if you hit the button at the right time, you might be able to do more damage than you normally would. Then you're able to use your creepy treat cards, which I cannot use at the moment. I'll be able to use them for the next battle. Or you can run away. As you saw, like the candy corn costume is kind of used once again as the gag. There's a bunch of different lines that will be used whenever the candy corn is whenever it's that turn for the candy corn. Like it'll say, "Candy corn is a lover, not a fighter," or something like that. I found there to be a pretty good amount of lines that they've written for that. They do repeat, but like there's a pretty good chunk of them, and I find most of them to be kind of funny. So you also see below the health bar of my party members, there's a yellow bar that is filling up. When that fills up, you have a special move that is unique to that costume that you can use. So the clown, the special move for the clown is like a healing move for all your party members. Obviously the superhero, which we won't see this battle, but we'll probably see the next one, has a power, like a really strong attack that he can use. Let's see if we can get a new battle going, because then I'll be able to use one of the creepy treat cards. Once again, most of the costumes have a unique ability you can use outside of battle. So the clown, I have this little squeaky horn. I can use that to have the alligators get out of the way, which clears the path so I can get a new costume piece. Shady is back, so he is once again, you know, he's selling us some goods. So basically what he does is when you get to a new area, you can buy a map of the area that you're in, and then he's also selling these different cards. You can buy them with the candy that you're getting from trick-or-treating or the candy that you just get from battles. So let's see. Buy the suckums, and then we'll buy caramels and bones. So one thing to note, in the original game, after every battle, they would just completely heal your party. They do not do that in this game. So instead, what you can do is there was a fountain that you saw at the very beginning of the video. You can drink from that fountain. That kind of serves as like an autosave checkpoint, but it also restores all your health. Or by pressing R1, we can just eat some of our candy, and that will also heal all of us. It's kind of like a gimme though, because it only costs like 25 candy, and you're always gonna have like just tons of candy on you at all time. Alright, so we'll be able to show some more of the things that are going on in this battle system now. So you can have up to 3 of the creepy treat cards equipped at one time, which like it gives room for you to kind of mix and match some. Like there's some pretty cool combinations that you're able to come up with like later on in the game. For instance, there is a card that straight up like, when you use these cards, they have a cooldown timer of like 3 battles until you can use it once again. There is a card that you get, it's like halfway through the game that I found it, that allows me to just wipe away the cooldown timer once. So like you can pair that with some other really good cards in a battle that you might find difficult, even though like this game's pretty easy in general, but like if you're having trouble with a battle, maybe you can pair that with like some cards that are really helpful. So you can use those cards once, you can then reset the timer and then use them again like a second time in that battle. So stuff like that. There's some pretty cool combinations you can come up with. For now, we're going to cut a minion's health in half on each turn. So we're gonna do it on that guy. And so again, you know, because this game is pretty simple, it's pretty easy for the most part. Like, I didn't really have very much trouble with it at all. And I went through the entire game with like the handicap of having the candy corn in my party all the time. And even then, like, it really wasn't having a whole lot of trouble. But if you do want to kind of like add some like a little bit of strategy there, I would recommend keeping the candy corn in your party. It will make the battles go a little bit longer, but it does, you know, it does kind of make you need to use the creepy treat cards a little bit more than you normally would. And so for me personally, like it forced me to think a little bit more, like in some of the boss fights in this game. Like, I had to put a little bit more thought into what I was doing during the battles. And I feel like that actually, I do feel like that made me enjoy this game a little bit more than I might have if I didn't, you know, go with like the handicap of having the candy corn there. Plus you get a trophy for it, so there's that as well. Another thing to note that I do believe is new this time around is they have like elemental weaknesses, or not really elements, but they do have strength and weaknesses that are tied to your costumes. So you see the clown costume is strong against, I believe the star icon is like magic based enemies, and then I am weak against, I want to say that's like a monster based enemy with like the teeth. And so, for instance, this top enemy, the crony combatant, I am technically weak against that enemy. And so that kind of comes into play. Like, if you're strong against an enemy, your attacks are going to do more damage, is essentially what that comes down to. And so they don't really use it to like the full extent, I guess. It's definitely one of those things where, like, theoretically, if this game was harder, you would be switching costumes in and out depending on what the weaknesses were in each battle. But again, because this game is very simple, like, it's very simple, and like, you don't really need to do that. And so I just found myself sticking to like around 3 different costumes that I just found to be the best. Whereas, like, I feel like there's room for this to be the type of game where you would need to use all of the different costumes and various different battles depending on what the enemies were that you're fighting. That's unfortunately not really the case here. Alright, so now that my special meter is charged, I can use Sweet Justice, which is the superhero special attack. Much like the first game, like, I really enjoy like the specials that each of the costumes have. There are some really just really goofy specials that you'll find throughout the game that I like a lot. And I like all the new costumes. There's especially, you know, without spoiling it, there's especially some like in the later parts of the game that are really dumb and cool that I enjoy quite a bit. So we'll do a little bit more. The one thing I do really enjoy about this game is because like it's based on like time travel. Like, the story there's some really weird and like goofy time travel stuff going on in this game, like in the story, that I enjoy quite a bit as well. Like, again, this is very much like a very small step above Costume Quest, like the original game. There's not a ton of new stuff here, like, aside from, you know, new locations, new story, new costume. But as far as like the gameplay is concerned, there's not a ton of new stuff that they've done. Like, I think Brad and I talk about this quite a bit on this week's podcast, where we both just feel like they should have done more. Like, there was so much room for them to, you know, really change up the combat system more than they did. Where like it just feels very much the same, and this is because of the way the combat system is, you know, already, like, once you get, you know, towards the end of the game, it does start to drag a little bit. You know, there's not a ton of depth there, so it can get kind of boring, like, once you've been playing this for a while, where it's, you just get to the point where you wish there was more to it, and there's not, so it's a little unfortunate. But at the same time, like, if you do like Costume Quest, you're gonna like this game anyways. Unfortunately, you know, this video is going up after Halloween has already come and gone, so maybe the season is not right for this game anymore. I don't know, but I do think, you know, you can still enjoy this even though we are in November now. But that is Costume Quest 2. If you like Costume Quest, like, you're gonna like this game, so you should definitely check it out if you haven't already. It is very much the same kind of game. Like, I wish they would have done a little bit more to kind of change things up, but as it is now, like, it's still a lot of fun. There's a lot of goofy humor there. The costumes all the new costumes are great. Like, all the new, like, special animations for the special attacks for each costume are cool. And I just like a good, weird, like, time travel story anyways. So thanks for watching, and make sure to keep coming back to PSN Stores for more videos.